Welcome to the podcast where we'll be talking about Michael Jackson and his impact on the music industry. I'm your host Adil and I'll be introducing our speakers. Let us begin by talking about Michael Jackson's impact on music videos of today. Sova, take it away.
One thing I found impactful about Michael Jackson was his music videos. I think he really set the narrative when it came to his videos today, and if we look at music videos like Thriller and Billie Jean, you can really see that they are movie-like videos. It's not just a video for the song, but it represents a story that the song portrays. So, looking at Thriller for example, you can see the use of zombies in the video. It perfectly portrays the image of the lyrics. It's almost like you can envision the music video from the lyrics. And looking at music videos today, it's sort of the same thing. They're all made like a movie with a story that captures the image or the lyrics of the song, and I think Michael Jackson heavily influenced this.
Okay, that's why we nowadays have more budget towards the music video industry than the artists themselves. Jokes aside, what do you think about his record career?
He is the highest awarded artist of all time, and he got 372 awards to date. And that is just excluding all the diamond, platinum, and gold certifications he got. He is even one of the biggest selling artists of all time, selling 380 million records. I think all these awards and certifications are visual proof of how impactful he was in the music industry. Having all these awards and certifications shows that the people genuinely enjoyed his music and that he was one of a kind when it came to being an artist.
Hearing this, I can say he's definitely one, if not the most influential and successful musician of his time and now. Anyways, Favour, what do you think of his community and the fans around the globe?
Michael Jackson had an influence that went beyond entertainment and music. He broke down racial barriers and became a popular global icon, transcending cultural borders as an African American artist. His popularity paved the way for later artistic generations, demonstrating that skills and ability are racially or ethnicity insensitive.
Wow, he must have had a clear aura within him to have accomplished such an achievement. On the topic of said aura, what do you think about his specialty, the moonwalk?
Michael Jackson's moonwalk performance on the Motown 25th anniversary special in 1983 is among his famous performances. This captivating dance move that seemed to defy gravity went viral right away. Jackson's unmatched dancing prowess was on display during the moonwalk, which cemented his standing as a pop culture phenomenon.
Hearing this, I wish I could experience such a performance, but unfortunately it's not possible.
Michael Jackson passed away unexpectedly in 2009, but yet his impact endures. He has influenced many musicians in a variety of genres, including pop, R&B, and hip-hop. Musicians such as Bruno Mars, Justin Timberlake, and Beyoncé have all mentioned Michael Jackson as a primary source of inspiration. Thank you.
Oh well, nothing can be done about a dead man. But I don't think his legacy just amounts to that. Timmy, would you like to talk about his popularity, legacy, and impact on the whole globe, the community, and his worldwide fans?
Most people today know the difference between celebrity famous and Michael Jackson famous. That should tell you how much of a difference and impact he made on society all around the world. To make this even better, his peak of popularity, 1980s and the 1990s, was in a time before social media and even the internet became mainstream. Everybody on the planet, and I'm telling you, everybody knew who he was. And it's been that way even since he was a child.
So he's famous young? On the topic of being young, can you talk about his childhood?
Michael grew up in Gary, Indiana. He was born on August the 29th, 1958. Michael always had a love for music and dancing, especially the fact that his family's name was built on music, dance, and various forms of art in his childhood days. His father, Joseph, was a guitarist who played in a rhythm and blues band, and his mother, Catherine, was a pianist and a singer. It all started in the 1960s with the iconic childhood band, the Jackson 5, which quickly went on television at the time. During that period, they created smash hits like I Want You Back in 1969 and ABC in 1970, I'll Be There also in 1970, and Dancing Machine in 1974.
Listening to this, one must really be jealous of Michael's childhood. But was it really just sunshine and rainbows? What do you think, Timmy?
Throughout his childhood, it may seem like it was painted out to be this perfect, benevolent, and beautiful experience for Michael. And from an outside perspective, how could it not? He had everything he could: fame, riches, fans, support, etc. The problem is how he and his siblings were brought up and led to performing there in the first place. It is well known now that his father Joe was very strict and even abusive sometimes to his kids, which, eventually impacted Michael in a negative way. And he eventually spoke about this in various forms of article and interviews when he was older. Michael also used to speak about the pressures and high expectations he had when he was a child, making it more difficult to have a normal childhood in school with friends or at home with families. Missing out on these normal childhood memories and experiences helped shape the way he eventually became when he was an adult, and influenced his life not just music-wise, but in general as well.
Okay, that went a bit dark and sad, but truth doesn't always sound nice. So Swathy, would you please make the mood a bit lighter and talk about his titles? The King of Pop.
Much more than electrifying music, the moonwalk, the unforgettable sparkling glitters, and the white glove clothing, MJ's legacies can be broken down into following core principles. All these aspects made him crowned the King of Pop, but his commitment to cause of children should also be remembered. Jackson had a transition from just being a pop star to becoming a counselor for most of the less fortunate in society.
So, he was a socially positive person. Well, what about his wealth? Did he just drown in them, buy lavish items, or did he also have a positive impact on the world with that money he had?
He also used the resources within his disposal in a big way to affect a positive change. The money gushed through his fingers by giving millions of dollars to charitable organizations, namely medication needs, education, poor, needy people. His famed live shows were turned into compassionate events, proceeding towards a cause, helping disadvantaged youths and collecting much funds too. Jackson committed himself and his resources to the struggle, and indeed the fight for freedom would have been different without his support in terms of money as well as in other ways too. He believed in using his status as an influence and fought against child abuse and the bullying. He also a spokesman for the voiceless and fought for change to help prevent death and attack on children.
Okay, well, with that, we'll wrap up this episode of Michael Jackson and his impact on the music industry. Thanks to Favour, Timmy, and Swathy for joining me to talk about his legacy and his influence on today's music. Farewells, everyone.